so shorted, and I couldn't put them. No, it's not excuses. You won. What are you talking about? You know, I'm not you, bro. I'm not you. I don't got to do the whole cold hands. I don't got to do the cold.
Give him a chance.
No, stop talking. Shut your mouth real quick. So for one second, shut up. I'm trying to tell you that you did something good, you idiot.
Hey guys, what's up? This is a very special episode brought to you with the help of Mighty Ape. They've just announced their Tekken 7 online league, so sign up, register, help out the FGC like usual, and just a general question. Who here that listens goes to overseas tournaments, such as EVO, BAM, OHN, NorCal, SoCal, Canada Cup, all those? It's really good when players go overseas to get that experience and promote their FGCs. But what was your best experience? Did you body people? Who did you get bodied by? Shoutouts to Standing Fierce, Omened by HP, special mention to Mighty Ape. Let's go.
Welcome to the Super Salt Shaker Podcast. Drex. Get ready for the next podcast.
Well, hello there everyone. Hoping you've had a good day. You are here with the Commander himself, Commander Jesse. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Nah, sweet ass dude. Firstly, can I just say, I love that your name is like a superhero. Commander Jesse. No, it sounds strong, dude. It sounds really good.
Yeah, I like it too. It was actually given to me, which is even better. Like, I didn't come up with that myself, so it's very it sounds like it has authority to it, so I definitely rock with it. Sometimes I worry it's a little long though.
Oh no, definitely not, man. Like, you walk in and you have that presence with you. Oh, it's Commander Jesse, superhero stature.
Thank you.
No worries. I mean, I look at players like JB who just, use their initials, and I'm thinking, that's not original, but Commander Jesse, you've got rankings, son.
Yeah. A leader of the people,
Leader of the people, bro. So you are a Dhalsim main. You're really well known for being a Dhalsim main, being a fierce player. What made you side with Dhalsim?
Well, I used to be a Chun-Li player in Street Fighter 4, all the way up into Super. All the way up until AE, and then I started playing Sakura a lot. But it wasn't until the last year of Street Fighter 4 that I started playing a little bit of Dhalsim, and I just thought he was a ton of fun. I thought his game plan was so different from everybody else. I thought his strategy of controlling space and keeping opponents out and winning that way was just so pleasurable and so enjoying that I wanted to continue to play like that. So I kept playing Dhalsim, and in Street Fighter 4 I would use him as like a counter pick. So anytime I ran into like a Zangief or a T-Hawk or Shotos, I always brought out Dhalsim. It always felt good to win with him. And then when Street Fighter 5 had come out, I wasn't even sure if I was going to continue to play because, I just felt like I had put in a lot of time in Street Fighter 4 and I wasn't really traveling or anything. And then, Chun-Li had come out for Street Fighter 5, but I didn't find her as interesting as I did when I played her in Street Fighter 4. I just, maybe her style didn't really work out that well for me, or it just didn't feel quite the same. So I was struggling. I didn't have a character to play yet.
The transition
for Dhalsim, I just knew right away, like that was going to be my character. It wasn't even a thought; it was like a feeling. Like my heart told me that this was my character. They gave him a beard. He had a sick design. It was amazing.
You didn't have to grow a beard because of Dhalsim, did you?
No. I had the beard before Dhalsim got his beard.
It's an epic beard, man. You must get a lot of time to stroke it.
Yeah, I get a lot of people who bring it up and talk to me about it, and I feel like at this point it's just part of my look. Like I can't shave ever. Plus, my girlfriend would literally kill me if I shave. She likes me better with the beard, so it's the thing. It's
the prep you need to do as well. I mean, if you're going to shave, you need the razor, you need the scissors, you need some kind of moisturizer, you need the whole shebang.
Yeah, it's a whole operation, So I prefer to just keep it trim, like keep it nice and oiled up, and just and I think it's kind of good because it could be a little bit intimidating too. So I kind of like it.
Oh, it is, man. You have a stare that just kills,
Yeah.
So with Dhalsim, with the transition Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 5, what are your opinions on Dhalsim in the game itself?
I think that Dhalsim is a really cool character because I think he's one of the few characters that can actually express himself. Like I think sometimes in this game where I see like characters like Necalli, where it just seems very like a cycle. Like I always kind of know what to expect out of a Necalli player. I usually see the same kind of game plan. But whenever I see Dhalsim players, I notice that they don't all play the same. Or I kind of see like the personality shine through the character. And when I played Dhalsim, I kind of was getting that for the first year of Street Fighter 5. I was just known as this aggressive Dhalsim player. And then and I felt it when I played him. I was like, I really get a chance to showcase my personality through the character, so I really enjoy that aspect of it. As far as tiers go, I feel like he's not one of the strongest characters, but I also don't feel like he's out of the fight entirely. He just takes a little bit more work, I think.
I believe there's a clip of you using Dhalsim, and it was a tournament, and you won through some dirty tactics. They coined you as the dirty Dhalsim player.
Which one was this?
Oh, I can't remember. I was just looking at it online. Someone had a short clip of it on Twitter. I don't know Street Fighter much, but you knocked I think it was a hard knockdown, you did a float, and then you kind of did his spiral dive kick down, and then you ended up facing forward. I can't remember the player you versed, but someone said... Yes, Christitarian. Yeah. They were like, oh, those dirty Dhalsim tactics.
Yeah, that was Wednesday night fights against Christitarian. Yeah, no, I remember now. Yeah.
So, do you go to Wednesday night fights a lot?
Yeah, I've been going to Wednesday night fights for years now. I used to go a lot in Street Fighter 4. Well, not every week because I don't think I was as dedicated. I was playing and I had a good time playing, but I wasn't traveling as much and I wasn't going to Wednesday night fights as much. But I do go out now. I pretty much go every week just because I feel like it's important to get that offline practice and to play against very strong players to get that experience and that practice is pretty important. So I try to make an effort to go down there, and I think it's like about an hour drive from where I am. But yeah, but it's still, I think, worth to go and get that kind of experience as opposed to just playing online.
And I'd assume with Wednesday night fights, you've met people like Alex YA. You know, you've said Chris T. Have you met any unsavory characters through Wednesday night fights?
I don't think I've met anybody that's really like pissed me off or anything, you know. I don't think anybody ever really kind of got on my nerves or anything like that. I did have an experience at Arcade Infinity a long time ago that made me not want to go back there again. I think I went there one time back in Street Fighter 4 because I had heard all the talk was about Arcade Infinity at the time in SoCal. And for me, my local arcade was Family Fun Arcade. So I always played with all my friends at Family Fun Arcade, but I just kept hearing about AI and Arcade Infinity. So I asked my cousin if he would go with me, and we went to Arcade Infinity, and I had the worst experience. I put my token up, I waited to play, and I just got this vibe like no one wanted me there, or like, what are you doing here? And I was just kind of like, okay, well, and I waited to play, and I was waiting forever, and I saw someone who had just played go up and try to play again. And I was like, you know what, I gotta say something. So I was like, hey man, I've been waiting here for half an hour, just trying to play, like, and I've seen you play already, like, do you mind? Like, can I get in here? And he just stared at me for like 20 seconds, like just stared at me, like, and I was like waiting for him to do something, like we were gonna actually fight or something. Yeah. He just stood up and walked away, and I was like, okay, that was weird. I lost, and as soon as I lost, I just told my cousin, like, let's get out of here, man. So that was like probably one of the few times that I felt like I wasn't comfortable or I had a really bad experience. But at Wednesday night fights, I just felt like everybody was there to, like, you know, get better, you know, play the best players, and that's kind of what it's been like ever since I started going.
Because over here in New Zealand, as you'd imagine, the scene is quite small, but in America, the amount of players, the camaraderie must be astounding. Is there anyone that you really get along with?
Yeah, I mean, some of the friends I have now, some of the closest friends I have now, I met through Family Fun Arcade. So I would go there all the time. I would go there and practice, and, you know, I started to meet these people that would come there every day or every other day to play Street Fighter, and eventually it moved to my friend Chris Fuller. He ended up having sessions at his house, and he invited all the local Valley Street Fighter 4 players to play there. And that's when we started grinding and leveling up. So I made friends with people like Hellfire. He's like probably my best friend, one of my closest friends. Hellfire, Vicious. He's a commentator. He's a really close friend of mine. Joe Dubs was another person that I was friends with, and just a bunch of people. Kilamax, Ateo, just all Valley people, and then through Wednesday night fights, I've made friends like, you know, Alex Myers and Chris Tarian and Stupendous and Baye, of course. Just overall, and Pinoy. Pinoy is another close friend of mine. SD Pinoy.
Okay.
So, yeah, so just going to Wednesday night fights, I've met so many different characters, so many different people, and I've established friendships. But I think a lot of it, though, as far as the bigger names are concerned, is like you're earned the friendship or the respect from winning matches. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like, you kind of have to prove yourself before people kind of mess with you. Like,
baptism under fire.
Yeah, you have to be like, okay, that guy's hungry, or he's winning, he's coming up, he's making moves before they can kind of like come around and start talking to him, you know? But I feel like it might be that way everywhere, so I feel like I've had to earn that respect.
Yeah, there's no quick way to get it, man. Have to have respect to get respect. No, I get you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, with your Dhalsim prowess, do you have a secondary in the pocket at all? I've seen you use Sakura in your stream.
Yes, I do play Sakura on the side because I used to play Sakura in Street Fighter 4 heavy. So when Sakura was announced, I was super excited, and then when she did eventually become playable, I was very disappointed. But I just was hoping she'd be more viable or have the same strengths, some of the same strengths that she did in Street Fighter 4. But to me, it just felt like I was working with a lesser character in Street Fighter 5. But I still enjoy playing her, but I just don't know how viable she could be in this engine. But I do play Sakura on the side, and I play a little bit of Mika, and now I play a little bit of Guile. But mainly it's Dhalsim.
Does Sakura, is she mainly better than Ryu in this version of Street Fighter 5?
Well, right now I think Ryu has some tools you can work with as far as the new V trigger. I think that opens up a lot of doors as far as like the Dhalsim matchup. I think Ryu can fight it a lot better now that he can parry a limb, draw Dhalsim in, and get big damage. Sakura, I think, is advantageous when she's in her V trigger as well. I just think in the neutral she really struggles because her normals are very stubby. But I think that once she activates her second V trigger, she can force the opponent into the corner, and that's where she thrives. So her walk speed and her V trigger, I think, it would make her a threat. So I think she could be a good character if you're not prepared for the matchup. And Ryu, I guess, could be kind of the same way because you just don't see Ryu's in tournament too often. Yeah. But I think he can still fight. It's just it's tough when right now I think it's a clear cut who the top tier characters are, and to fight against those characters, anything like Dhalsim, I mean anything like Sakura or Ryu, it's kind of tough.
I guess it is pretty tough being the poster child for this franchise and it being like the least used character. Like even in tournaments, the presence for Ryu is just, it's nil.
Yeah, it's really weird to see because in season 1 you had so many good. We had Daigo, who is the poster child for Street Fighter, in my opinion. In my eyes, he's the Michael Jordan.
The OG, man. The OG, yeah.
He's number 23, He's OG MVP. So and for him to get away from Ryu speaks volumes about the character. And to not see any anymore is kind of sad, especially someone who's such a staple. Like, when people watch Street Fighter, just casual gamers who maybe, or just casual fans, maybe people who don't know a lot about video games, but if they see a Ryu on the screen and they're watching video games, they can kind of understand who that character is. They can kind of put it together.
Yeah.
As opposed to like maybe, I don't know, Nikali or Karen or some of these other characters, but not.
So of course the Dhalsim matchups, the ones that are unfavourable, but as a player, who are your unfavourable matches player-wise?
Player-wise, man.
Is there someone gunning for you?
Someone gunning for me? I mean, as a Dhalsim player, I feel like people are always gunning for me. I feel like I have a stigma because I'm a Dhalsim player. Like, I already play a character who has a certain archetype that people don't like. Like, I think that my character is just like every time people hear about Dhalsim, they always just think of this guy who just super annoying, pokes you all day, doesn't let you in, just limbs you out, and people just say it's cheap, but his defense isn't as strong. So I think that once you get in on Dhalsim, he doesn't have a ton of options, and your defense has to be on point. But as far as like someone, like specifically being a bad player matchup, I would say the only person that I've ever played that makes me feel absolutely just
smoked,
like stupid, like I feel like I'm incapable, like I feel completely incapable, it would be NuckleDu. I feel like whenever I play NuckleDu, I used to practice a lot with him in season 1 before he won Capcom Cup. We used to run a lot of sets online, and then we would play here and there throughout the years, just like at a tournament, like just casuals, like we'd play in his room or just like in the in the lobby somewhere or whatever. But every time I play him, I just played him in Texas Showdown too. But every time I play him, I just feel like I'm incapable. It's weird. Like he just has a way. Like he understands the way my brain works, and he just doesn't let me do anything. It's crazy. But I don't feel like that. And I played Punk, and I played Mena, and I played I played Daigo, but no one makes me feel like that. It's weird. So I always give him mad credit because I'm just like, this guy's mental ability is so strong. It's ridiculous.
So in a way, he's kind of like a metaphysical guile. So he has that wall that you just can't seem to break down. Yeah,
like he'll go Mika against my Dhalsim. And for some reason, he just always has the right read, or he just knows what button I'm going to push next, and next thing you know, it's over. And I'm trying my best, I'm considering all the options, but it almost doesn't matter. It's just, he kind of has a way of making you feel like whatever decision you're making at that time is not a good one. It's hard to explain. I think you got to play him to get what I'm talking about. But he's really good, obviously.
And I guess that's what you call the grind, man. It's tough, man. It's a tough hill climbing, learning fighting games and trying to be the best, or try to be the best that you can, I suppose.
Absolutely.
I wanted to touch briefly about the ELEAGUE show.
Yeah.
Just in terms of, how it represented you and your overall experience. What was your take on the show? How do you feel it went for you?
Honestly, I thought the show was a great experience. I thought that it would allow the world to see what it is that we do and what we're passionate about. This is obviously something that I put my heart and soul into. I've always loved playing video games ever since I was a kid. It wasn't necessarily fighting games. I loved a little bit of everything. I used to play a lot of Halo 2. I still remember, staying up late with my friends, playing GoldenEye till 6 in the morning, dude. I just have so many fond memories. Video games are literally a gigantic part of my life. So I'm just so grateful that the world gets to see me doing what I love to do. So I think that I'm very grateful for that. And I think that it's also maybe gotten me more exposure as far as a Street Fighter player and what I'm truly capable of.
Yeah, and I mean, you're capable of a lot. I mean, it's not like you're a nobody. But it's funny that you said that, you getting more reach out to people. Has there been much reception from people? Have they tried to reach out to you from seeing you on the show?
I've had some people ask me, such as yourself, I guess,
yeah,
to do interviews, stuff like that.
Yep.
So I think I've done one already with Flo. He had asked me to come on his stream and do a thing with him.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing this now. So I've had a couple other people ask me if I want to do interviews, just talking about the show and stuff. So yeah, I've had some people approach me, and now I'm just looking forward to ELEAGUE and being a part of the most exclusive Street Fighter tournament on Earth, and I'm just so excited. I don't know.
I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, it's a rare opportunity that you've been able to seize. What's the biggest challenge that you face walking into this thing?
I think for me, it's just, obviously I want to get as close as I can to winning first place. I want to be one of the best players in the world. I want to compete with the best players in the world, and I want to show everybody that I'm actually capable of doing that. So that right there is something I have in the back of my mind. And also, I remember when Chris Tatarian had gotten back from doing ELEAGUE last year, and he had told me about the pressures of the pressures of playing on that stage at ELEAGUE. And he said that it's nothing like he's ever experienced before. And he's been he's traveled way more than I have. He's been to different countries in the world, and he's been, on some of the biggest stages. And for him to say something like that was just kind of, something that I keep in the back of my mind. And now I'm going to be in that same position. So I'm curious to see what that's going to be like. And I'm hoping that I can just play my game and adapt and overcome.
Because you're quite, okay. Well, you've been playing for years. I'm just thinking, because you're quite an older, you're quite an older, seasoned player.
Right.
What are your thoughts on eSports for the FGC? I know it's always a touchy topic. Some are yay, some are yeah.
Well, here's my take on it. Right. I used to play at Family Fun Arcade. And that's why, I think of Clockwork and stuff like that, because, he's one of the OGs and always reminds me of the arcade era, Strider Doom, But like at Family Fun Arcade, we used to hang out there. Guys would be smoking and drinking in the parking lot. Fights would break out. I saw a dude literally walk around the cabinets, grab this dude by his neck, and slam him to the ground. You know, just because he was like trolling him, like teabagging him.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it all. You know what I mean? So I come from a background where it's like if you're not careful, you get your ass beat. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm used to that. And I've played in those environments, and I don't get like a thrill off of competition. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. But I think that with esports, there's more opportunities for people to just continue to do what they love. And that's why I feel like I can't knock it too much, because without esports, I guess, or without like companies investing and trying to come in and show the world that this is something that, you know, may be a bit niche, but it could be considered a profession, and some people can maybe even possibly make a career out of it. And if there's a possibility that if someone can come in and, again, do what they love, compete with the best, and be paid out like, you know, an athlete, or be taken care of, or be able to make this something that's sustainable, and I can't really knock that, because everybody here has been putting in so much time and so much effort. There's been people that have been playing forever. You know, Vi is a legend.
Uncle Vi,
Mr. Street Fighter, you know, Uncle Vi. So, like, why aren't they, you know, like, these people should be able to do, in my opinion. You know, there should be a way for all of us to be able to make this a bigger thing. And I feel like the more exposure to what it is that we do is better. Obviously, you don't want to be, you know, we still want to hold on to, like, grassroots. We still want to be able to, like, do things on our terms. And I feel like we can still do that. I think that that's what makes our brand of, you know, our brand of esports, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, so different. Is that we got guys, you know, we got guys getting hype in the crowd, popping off. You know, we bring hype. Like, we're not sitting there in front of a computer, not saying anything. You know, we get crazy with it. Like, we play fighting games, and passion shows through our expressions, through our gameplay. Like, we get really into this. Like, this is not like, you know, not to knock on other genres, but I just think that we come to the table with a little bit of spice. We come with a little bit of something different. So that's what's so special about us. So I just feel like if we continue to grow and have more experiences to show people that, I think they can vibe with that. Like, I think the general audience could feel where we're coming from and get part of the excitement and want to go along with it. Like, I think, like, my you know, like friends and my girlfriend, like, when they watch for the first time, or they've never seen, you know, Street Fighter before, they don't know what's going on, even though they don't really understand the game. Like, fighting games are easy enough to understand, where there's a life bar and you can see who's winning and who's losing.
Yes.
And when a person starts to make that comeback and the crowd starts to get hyped, she gets, you know, my girlfriend gets nervous, you know, she gets nervous and she's excited for me, and she can kind of get involved with what's going on. So to me, that says a lot about, you know, just the general audience can get involved too. Like, people who aren't necessarily playing could get an idea of what's going on, and I think what we bring to the table is special.
I just think it's been hard from the very beginning, because I think when esports was introduced, you know, it was first-person shooters and, you know, World of Warcraft, you know, all those games were kind of in the forefront because they were easily recognized. And yeah, it's just trying to find the middle ground with these corporations and these companies. Yeah, it's just finding the middle ground, but we've got to cut through so much shit to get there.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And, you know, I think that we're making moves and making strides towards doing that. You know, we got more events going on now than ever, which allow people to shine. You know, I can honestly say that if it wasn't for Wednesday Night Fights and Brooklyn Beatdown and ESL, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. You know, I wouldn't be where I am today, because Wednesday Night Fights allowed me to travel to ESL Brooklyn Beatdown, because I won that season, and they said that they would send one of their players who won the season to Brooklyn Beatdown, and then that in turn led to me, you know, doing so well, and every opportunity after that just keeps stemming off each other. So I don't take things for granted, so I just try to maximize. I mean, just like anybody else, anytime you get an opportunity, you try to make your best of it, and that's what I think I've done. And these opportunities wouldn't have come if it weren't for people who just generally wanted to be involved in whatever it is that we do. I think as long as they come in knowing that we want to protect what we have, and we know that we got something good here, and they have good intentions, that I can't really see the fault in it.
I mean, at first when I heard that the E-League were going to do this reality show, I really wasn't sure how it was going to be. I mean, I had an idea of how people would think about it, but just like what they were trying to achieve. I mean, I know the basic goal that they were trying to achieve, but you know, like first it's E-League and then it's a reality show. Like, I think people were questioning if that was the right step to take. Did you have any thoughts like that?
I mean, I thought that it was something totally different, and I didn't know what to expect out of it. When they said that I would be part of the crew, I was just like, they really want me. You know, I was like, I can compete, and you know, I really would love this opportunity, but I was kind of surprised. I was like, maybe it's the beard, you know, maybe because I have a beard and my name is Commander. Like, I just stand out a certain way, and they're just like, that's great. You're the guy with the beard. That's perfect, you know. So I was like, I guess, you know. That's not what they said, by the way. I just figured in my own mind that that's probably their thought process. But, you know, I was chosen, and I was like, okay, if they're gonna pick other people for the show, I feel like LTG's got to be on there, just because he's such a name to the scene. Maybe not on like the competitive side, because he doesn't really travel as much on that level. But as a personality, I feel like it's too strong to avoid. Like, I think he's just so apparent, and you need to have different people to make up a reality show in order for it to be successful, in my opinion. So I just felt like it made a lot of sense for him to be on there, and I thought that like everyone else was casted really well. So I was a little worried. I was like, ooh, for reality show, I don't know, you know, I think Big Brother, I think Jersey Shore, you know, and I'm just like, not gonna have any kind of privacy, and I don't know. It's a little weird, you know, it's a little weird. But it wasn't like that at all, you know. It was just a really pleasurable experience. When I got there, you know, the executive producer had, you know, told me that they're not there to make us uncomfortable. They're there to just like make sure that we do what we do, and they love what we do, and just they wanted to show the world that, just showcase what it is that we do and how passionate we are about it.
Has your opinion changed on on reality shows with E-League? Because you would have seen the official cameras and stuff.
I think it has, because I was like kind of blown away by everything that's done. It's just like, wow, there's a lot of cameras, a lot of microphones, a lot of things being recorded, a lot of, you know, it's like seeing behind the curtain, you know, and you always just watch at home and you see these shows and you never really know how some of the stuff gets done. But this show isn't, it's also not entirely like those shows though, so it's a little tough. Like, none of the stuff was really scripted. Like, we weren't given lines to say or anything like that. So I don't know if some of the other shows are like that, but I feel like that's kind of what made this show a little special, is that a lot of it was just kind of, we were put in situations, and those situations in turn developed drama naturally. Like having to decide who would go up for elimination, and then that person would choose who they want to fight in the chamber. Like that, whenever those kind of things happen, naturally there's got to be some drama. So
yeah, man.
So I thought that was really interesting.
Okay, well, on that note, we'll just take our first break. So for those of you who are listening, don't gap. We'll be right back. Sup guys, hopefully you guys have stayed, and those who have joined in, I've got my man Commander Jesse. So, not to get all schmoozy with you, dude, but I know that you have a really great relationship with your mum.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering if you could, talk us through your beginnings, baby Commander Jesse, like how you got into fighting games.
Well, I grew up only child, so I don't have any brothers or sisters. I didn't grow up with any brothers or sisters, so it was just my mother and I. And she bought me a Nintendo when I was, a little boy, and I would play all the time. Like, she couldn't get me off the machine, but she liked the fact that I was at home and that I was enjoying myself and playing, and I wasn't outside doing stupid stuff like being reckless, And I eventually, I got older. As I grew older, I needed the next machine, so I got the Super Nintendo, and I guess you could say I was a little spoiled like that because I was the only child. So it was like at the Super Nintendo, and then eventually the 64. And when I had these systems, like my friends would come over and she would order pizza for us, and she would just kind of like be happy that we were in a controlled environment. So she always was very supportive of some things that I love to do. Like when it wasn't this, she signed me up for soccer a long time ago. We have this thing called AYSO. It's like American Youth Soccer Organization, and I hated it. And I played for like a year, and I hated it. And I was like, I'm just running around, and I can't I'm not that skillful, so I'm just like I'm running around, and it's not working out. And then she's like, okay, if you don't like soccer, then I'm gonna put you in basketball. So she put me in basketball, and it was like YMCA, like youth basketball, and I actually really enjoyed it. So then I started playing basketball for like 4 or 5 years. I was playing like every year in the YMCA league, and I really enjoyed that. So she, even though I played a lot of video games growing up, I also would, play basketball outside, and then, we would do stupid stuff as kids, like, we would just play hide and seek out there, or like throw rocks at cars or whatever. It was just stupid kids. Like,
oh, you're a rebel, man.
Yeah, we were bad. Some of us, we did some stuff that we weren't necessarily proud of, but we were a little rebellious, but then, we grow old and we were like, okay, that was kind of stupid. We shouldn't do stuff like that. But, we would I grew up on a block, and on this block, it was just a bunch of kids from a bunch of different apartments and stuff like that. So we all would go through phases. So we used to play basketball together. We would play touch football. We would, when Pokemon cards were a big thing, we would get into Pokemon cards. When skateboarding was a big thing, we were really into skateboarding for a while. So I would play video games here and there throughout that time. Like I would play, like I said before, I played a lot of GoldenEye with my friends. I had my 64, so we play that. Then I had PlayStation 2, and we would play NBA Live 2005, things like that. But I don't feel like I really got into gaming until I got Halo 2. But my mom throughout my life has been very supportive of what I'm passionate about. So I'm very thankful to have that.
It's interesting because with gaming, with parents, some of them don't really understand. Some of them see it as a phase that, they just grow out of. It almost feels like the secret hobby, the secret identity. When your parents are asking you, oh, where are you going? And then you just tell them, oh, I'm just nowhere important. But it's really good that you have that rapport with your mum. Has she ever attended your tournaments?
I think she's been to a few. It's just kind of hard because sometimes she has to work and she can't really attend, so it's a little difficult. But she's been to a few, yeah. But none too far, maybe a local one or something like that.
Yeah. And she hasn't embarrassed you, yelling at the top of her lungs, "Go,
No, my mom is so sweet. No, she's not my mom is really sweet, and she's kind of shy at times, so she's not really the type to go yelling or anything, but my mom does get a little emotional. So if she saw me winning or she saw that I was happy, she saw, I guess, that I had won on the show, and she was really teared up about that. So my mom is really, she's really, shy, so she wouldn't be like that. She would just probably get emotional. I'd probably be like, okay, Mom, you can stop crying. Just relax.
Oh, yeah.
But she's very supportive.
I guess the natural question is she a good cook? All mothers are good cooks.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she can hold it down. We usually go out to eat for the most part. But growing up, we would do a lot of cooking, and she would make really good like arroz con leche or like enchiladas and stuff like that. Just really good Mexican food.
Yes,
it was bomb. It was bomb. Yeah.
If you had to recommend a Mexican, food for a first timer, what would you suggest?
Oh my God, that's a loaded question because I still eat Mexican food a lot. Like, my girlfriend and I will go out to like this place called Salsa and Beer, and it's amazing. Like, we'll have, sometimes we'll have like, we'll get like tacos, obviously, or we'll get what do you call it? Oh, God. Like, she makes some really good chilequiles too. Like, chilequiles are amazing. Like, I think if you haven't had Mexican food, like chilequiles in the morning, like a breakfast Mexican food, is really, really good.
What is it? What is it exactly?
Like, chilequiles is like cut up, like it's like fried tortilla chips mixed in with like tomato sauce. We use like pato tomato sauce, and then we put cheese in there, and then there's a bit of like diced up tomatoes and onions and cilantro. And like you put, it's
God, you had me a tomato sauce, dude.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's you deep fry the tortilla so they come out to like chips, right? And then you get everything, then you dump the chips in, then you put the cilantro at the end because it's gonna start to like burn really quickly, and then once it comes out, it's just amazing. It's so good. It's really, really good.
Have you been jamming any games lately?
Have you been like playing anything else outside of Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Everybody's on that Fortnite trend right now. I haven't played it. I downloaded it and I haven't played it.
Stay away once you get into it.
Yeah, the only game I've actually been playing a little bit here and there is Skullgirls.
Skullgirls?
Yeah. Because I saw a YouTube video once of Sonic Fox playing Skullgirls, and I was like blown away by how sick it looked. I was just like, wow. Like, it reminded me a little bit of Marvel, but like I liked the graphics of Skullgirls. Like, I liked the art design of it. So I was kind of fascinated, and I was watching him, and I was kind of like, wow, that game looks really interesting. So I bought it, and I played it a little bit, and then as of recently, I went to Wednesday Night Fights, and someone was playing it, and they were like, Jesse, didn't you say you wanted to learn it? I was like, yeah, sure. So I sat down, and I've been playing it a little bit. It moves really quickly, so it's hard for me to keep up, but it does interest me.
Okay, because it has different, like different dynamics and stuff compared to Street Fighter, because it's an anime game. It's not too much for you?
It's a little intense. I know. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I tried to do the trials, and like by trial 2, there's like it's like 4 chains, one out after another, and I'm just kind of like, wow, that's very extensive, and I don't know if I can keep up with it, but I'm trying. But it is a little overwhelming. But I'm trying. I just have fun with it.
Oh yeah. And back to Fortnite, you will try it or you won't?
I don't know. I literally downloaded it on PlayStation 4, and it's been sitting there. I haven't played it once. I don't know. I just feel like I know it's a trend. I know everybody's playing it, but the only shooter, the last time I took a shooter very seriously was Halo 2. And I'm telling you, if I had, the one regret I do have ever since I've been doing this competitively with Street Fighter is that I wish I had at least given myself a chance competing in Halo 2 professionally. Like, I think I was a decent player, and I just never went to any offline tournaments or any events. But there was MLG Anaheim, which was maybe like an hour away, but I never went. I don't know. My teammates were from Canada, and I was a good solo player, which was like free for all. They would do Halo 2 free for all, and I always regretted not going to any of those events. So I guess when Street Fighter came around and I went to Family Fun Arcade, I was like, okay, I'm making amends of that right now.
The shooter in me has died.
It's dead?
It did, yeah.
Oh man, it's hard though. I feel like with shooters, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like with shooters, you have to be playing a lot. Like, you have to keep playing. Like, if you don't play for like 3 or 4 days, I feel like you lose it a little bit. Like, I don't know if it's just me. I always feel like with Halo 2, if I didn't play for a couple of days and I come back, I'm rusty. My aim is off. I have to change the sensitivity because I think I'm off, but it's just me. Like, it's not that. Like, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Street Fighter, like, sometimes it's good to take a break. Like, I can play for a while, and then I can take a break for a couple of days, and then I come up with new ideas. I come back and I can like win a tournament or something. Like it's not. But then again, I mean, Street Fighter V isn't really execution heavy, but I just feel like sometimes a break from the game actually can help you. But as far as like shooters are concerned, I think it's like you have to consistently be playing.
Well, yeah, because with fighting games, you know, you want to break those patterns that have been engraved into you, whereas shooters, you know, you need to keep the patterns going. For me, it's more so keeping the peripherals, like constantly looking around the screen, you know, like seeing if that bush is moving or if I can hear footsteps going, you know. But yeah, with fighting, fighting games, it's good to take a break and kind of see where you're at and aim for the next pedestal. Yeah, I agree. Well, on the show with ELEAGUE, you met Lupe Fiasco, which would have been, you know, pretty sweet. But have you met any other legit celebrities?
In just as far as like through Street Fighter or just in general?
Oh, like just in general, like any famous celebrities you've met or anyone out of the blue.
Yeah. It's funny. I actually have a funny story. I was at a bar in Santa Monica with one of my friends. That guy Hellfire is one of my closest friends, another Street Fighter player. And we were just there hanging out, and these guys came in, and we overheard them, and they said something about Tracy McGrady. And I was like, what? Like, what did you guys say? Like, Tracy McGrady? They're like, oh, yeah, he's right over there. And I was like, T-Mac, like Tracy McGrady, like, you know, Houston Rockets, Orlando Magic, just one of the best basketball players of all time. Like,
just happens to be there.
Just is next door. And they're just like, yeah, he's right over there. And I was like, all right, we're going to go over there. So we went over there, and he was like, as soon as you walked into the bar, as soon as you walked into the bar, like right away, as soon as you go through the door, there's like a lounge area, and it's just him and some girl like in this big lounge area. And then there's a security guard there, like behind a velvet rope. And I was like, you know what? I got to ask him for a picture. I have to. It's T-Mac. It's Tracy McGrady. I got to do it. And I go up, and I asked the security guard, or I guess his bodyguard or whatever, and I'm just like, hey, is it okay if I ask T-Mac for a picture? And he's like, honestly, man, he's had a long night. He just kind of wants to hang out with his girlfriend or whatever. And, you know, I don't think so, man. And I was like, man, okay. But in my mind, I was like, you know what? I don't see T-Mac all the time. I'm going for it. So I was like, yo, T-Mac! And he looked over, and he was like kind of gave me that look, like, really, bro? And I was just like, yo, can I get a photo, man? You're the best, dude. And then he was like, I think I kind of put him in like a tough spot because he was with this girl. Like, he didn't want to look like an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, sure. And so we took this photo, and in the photo, he genuinely looks happy. Like, he's just chilling. Like, we just had a great photo. I get to tell the story about T-Mac. But like, people will never understand, like, he wasn't that thrilled, you know? But it's just, like, something that I know that other people don't know. And I'm just like, man, that's so, like, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do that again. Like, next time I see a celebrity, I think I'm just going to chill. Like, I gotta relax. So, yeah, I've had some experiences like that. Like, I met Lupe Fiasco, and I thought that was super cool. I thought it was even cooler that he said he knew who I was on TV.
Oh, you would have been man. You would have been on the moon, eh?
Like, when he said that, he actually said, I know who Commander Jesse is on national television. So I was like, holy shit. Like, he just said he knows who I am. Like, that must have given me some clout. Like, I have to have some, like, street cred after that. Like, this dude, Lupe, knows who I am. Like, he knows who I am. Like, that's crazy. So I was kind of flipping out, but, at the same time, I got to act like he said it before. So I was like, yeah, that's tight. That's cool, but yeah.
Are you into music at all, bro?
Yeah. In high school, I used to listen to like a lot of underground hip hop and a lot of alternative, and then now I think I listen to like a lot of ratchet hip hop, a lot of ratchet rap. I think my girl, we go out like pretty often, so I feel like now I'm kind of influenced by like Migos and stuff like that. Like, but I'm really like I'm like a big fan of Kanye and things like that. But I don't know. It's kind of. I used to listen to more. I used to listen to music a lot more. I feel like now, like, I've just been so focused with like gaming, and then I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend and stuff. So I don't really have as much time as I used to.
Yeah. How do you find juggling being a professional gamer and trying to make a living out there in the real world?
It's something that I know is a process, and I'm hoping that eventually I can maybe do what I love and turn that into a career, because I love to do this. And hopefully if I can be involved in, as far as being a professional Street Fighter player or professional gamer. If not, then I would just like to be involved in the industry itself, because I feel like it's something that I've always loved to do. I've always been passionate about it. I've always been informed. I used to read up on all the tips and tricks in Nintendo Power magazines. Like, I was just so in love with the idea of video games. So I'm hoping that something can, come from this. And so far, luckily, I feel like I've been blessed with opportunities to show everybody that, I get to do what it is that I love.
So do you have a 5-year plan?
5-year plan? Like I was saying, I think I plan to, continue to grow as a player, as a person, make moves in the industry, hopefully work within the industry. I would like to be a pro player. If that pans out, then I would be elated. And I think that if I continue to play the way I'm playing and improve as a player, that can definitely be a possibility. So I'm hoping that all these things can kind of come to fruition, and I can not only make myself proud, but I can make my mother proud and my girlfriend proud, and be able to do things for them. Like, the fact that they constantly support me and what I do, I want to be able to give back to them. Show them that this is possible.
Yeah, man. No, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for those who have been listening and those who have joined in. Hang around. We will be back in a jiffy. Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for those who have stayed, those who have just joined. I'm here with Commander Jesse. We're just wrapping it up now. So bro, what's the next tournament that you're hitting up?
I'm actually going to Combo Breaker next weekend. I'm very excited to go back. I wasn't crazy about my performance last year, so I'm hoping that I can avenge that. And it's going to be the first major tournament that I'm going to, knowing that everybody else knows that I'm going to be a part of ELEAGUE. So it's going to be very interesting. I feel like I might have a target on my back.
Well, you did pretty well last year in the Capcom Pro Tour. I think you ranked pretty high in the North America region.
Yeah, I think I placed pretty well. I think I was 81st overall. North American, I wasn't sure of my overall rank, but I think I did fairly well for myself. I think I accumulated about 163 CPT points, something like that. So I think I did okay. I feel like I was playing very strong towards the end too. I finished in top 8 at SCR, and then I got top 8 at the last chance qualifier as well. So I feel like I was doing pretty well.
Okay. Well, could I just ask you, do you do you help out with any events or any of the gaming functions? Like, I've seen that you've done a lot of the body count fighting, the online tournaments.
Yes. So body count fighting is, they've reached out to me from the moment I got top 8 at Brooklyn Beatdown and got the double perfect on Mago. I think ever since then, they had asked me if I wanted to make a documentary. So I made a documentary with them. It was like an hour long, or like a 30-minute documentary, just about my story and how I came to, to where I am. So ever since then, we've kind of had a good relationship, and they've asked me to come in and do events like BCF1. I was their first overall champion against Vi, and then I was invited back, and now I'm going to be a part of BCF6, their 6th event coming up in June. So I've done a lot of work with them, and I continue to do work. So right now I stream with them. I create content with them. So I'll go and I'll stream me playing ranked or sets or lobby or just matches with with viewers and things like that. And just the other day I was doing commentary for them for their first BCF online tournaments qualifier for a future event in 2019.
Well, that's awesome, bro. And I see, and I've seen the cash, like the pot prizes that you've put in for these tournaments. Who are the people that you're working with?
I'm working with Cheyenne, super shy guy. He's he was part of my commentary team. I'm also working with Jay Hustle, John, and another guy, Ken. They're all part of the BCF team. All of us together, trying to create content, and then they came into the scene just looking to be supportive, looking to create content, and have an event to showcase players all across the country, and possibly maybe even around the world pretty soon, possibly.
Do you think this could be a transition for you? Do you think you'll transition into being a host?
Honestly, I haven't thought about that, but I don't mind doing commentary, and I wouldn't mind being a host. I love to be able to watch and commentate and, invite people into the community. So if being a host was something that could be done in the future, I would totally be open to it. Yeah.
Well, you've got the attitude for it, and I mean, why deny the people that beard on camera? Your beard oils.
If people want to see the camera as a host, I'm all about that. I will literally get the beard oil. I'll get my I'll be ready for the camera, for the people, for everybody. I'm totally down with it.
And that's what the people want, baby. Here's hoping.
Yeah.
So I have a question about the DLC characters. You touched Sakura and stuff. So when all these characters finally get in there and it's all wrapped up, what should they do to best balance the game? Because I'd imagine that there'd still be people that aren't happy with certain things.
It's hard to say because I feel like this season has been a little like... I feel like the characters have been a little lackluster. Like, I feel like there was such high expectations for Sakura, and I don't think that those expectations were kind of met. And Blanca was another classic Street Fighter character, but I feel like I'm not sure how well the characters stack up overall as far as the meta is concerned. So I don't know what they're going to do to shake things up, but it's difficult sometimes because that as soon as they nerf a certain character and buff another character, it changes the entire meta. So now it's kind of an overall agreed consensus that Akuma, Minot, Guile, and Cammy are 4 of the 5 strongest characters in the game, and everyone else is like either in the middle or at the bottom. So it's kind of just, but those 4 I feel like are just a cut above everybody else. Like it's clear in a way. I feel like they're cut above everybody else.
Okay, well, give me the name of a character that you definitely want to get nerfed.
Well, I did want Rashid to get nerfed, and he did. So I was glad for that. And trust me, I didn't mail Capcom, and I didn't ask anybody. He just got nerfed, so I'm glad. And right now, I think Cammy is just a really strong character. I think she got more moves than she even needed. But right now, I think Akuma is really, really strong. I think that standing medium kick is a very strong tool. And he just does so much damage in V-trigger, a hard knockdown, which makes it very difficult. So I just think that there's certain things that could be tweaked, but I can't say what exactly it is that I would take away from those characters, but I just feel like they have an overall edge.
Yeah. Okay. So, just a fun question. Do you have an embarrassing story that you'd like to tell? With you being willing to tell the story.
An embarrassing story.
Well, it's always nice listening to a, after hours. Oh yeah, me and Smug, we were,
Let me try. Oh, I'm trying to think right now. I'm trying to think. Hold on.
Oh, that's cool. Or just any funny moment with a fan or with another player.
Off the top of my head right now. Let me think. I just think I realized I went to Texas Showdown recently, and I realized that those dudes know how to have a good time. And you could just know, who knows how to have a good time and who kind of, more on the conservative side, kind of. But, I usually could tell, after a drink or two, I'm like, okay, they seem like they're just, a good people. And I feel like I've always gotten that good vibe from the Texas people. The South, the Southern hospitality is truly real.
Yeah.
I feel like that when I'm in Texas, and I also feel like that a little bit in Atlanta. They're very genuinely good. There's the manners and the hospitality. The hospitality is there. I was there, and we just went out, and we were at the bar and just hanging out with a bunch of other pro players and other top players, just having a great time, just shooting the shit. And I really can dig vibes like that. I feel like whenever I pick up on a vibe like that, I'm automatically this guy's a good dude, in my book,
Yeah, man.
So I feel like I get that vibe from them. But as far as moments, I'm actually just trying to think off the top of my head, what is just a moment that
well, a moment where you were caught with your pants down and you were surprised.
Yeah, damn. I don't know why I can't think of one right now. I don't know why. Oh my gosh.
Hey man, you may live life on the edge, just not right now. It's all good.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a moment. I can't think of the last time I was really oh my god, I gotta get out of here.
Or did you do something silly with your partner once, or did you? Was there an awkward moment between you and your partner that ended in laughter?
I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything right now. I honestly can't think of anything.
Hey, no, that's all good, man. That's all good.
I think it was I think we were watching the show, and it was just weird to see myself on television. And then my friends and her friends were there, and they're just oh, look, Jess is on TV. I'm just kind of oh, shit. I'm not used to seeing myself on TV. I'm talking, and it's a little weird. But I don't know as far as anything truly embarrassing. It's hard to say.
Hey, no, that's all good, man.
Yeah.
But in this case, I'll turn it over to the idea of travel. I've asked a few guests, where would they like to go to compete? And you said you've traveled a lot, but is there any places in particular that you do want to hunt down?
Okay, so a couple of places I just want to travel to without gaming involved. I guess the number one place I've always wanted to go to is Italy. It's just something that about the culture and the food and just everything about it. I feel like I would love it, almost scary. I would love it too much, And pizza is without a doubt my favorite food. So
it's everyone's food, man.
No, but it's not. It's literally people who know me know that I can literally eat pizza every single day and not get tired.
That's actually kind of. It's a Jesse, Hilita pepperoni, double cheese.
It's actually insane. When I was in New York, I literally made my girlfriend tired because I wanted to eat at every pizza place, and she was like, "Okay, today we're not having pizza." And I was like, "Okay, you're right. Okay, let's go get something else." But I love pizza, so I feel like I've always wanted to go to Italy, go to the canals, try some Italian wines, some pizza, just embrace the culture. So that's one place I've dreamed about going to one day. I want to go to New Orleans. I would hopefully want to make that trip out there with my girlfriend. She's always been wanting to go to. And then just the places I've gone to, like I've really enjoyed myself in New York. I've really enjoyed my time in Austin. Austin, Texas is actually one of my favorite cities I've ever been to. There's just, the food is great. The people are kind. There's actually like if you go outside, right outside the venue of DreamHack Austin, there's this place called 6th Street, and it's just a line of restaurants and bars. Like there's just things to do all up and down the street. It's amazing. Like there's just shows going on, like live outdoor shows. Like there's just things to do all the time. And the barbecue is fantastic.
They're known for their barbecue. Yeah.
I had this thing. I went to this place. It's called Franklin Barbecue. It's one of the world's best barbecue places. Like ranked one of the world's best barbecue joints. And I waited in line for like 3 hours. For like 3 hours, I waited in this line. But I knew I had to have it because it's rare. It's this place is super famous. So finally got in there. They gave me the sample of the brisket, and it literally melted in my mouth. It was one of the best things I've ever, like, not only one of the best barbecue foods I've ever eaten, it was one of the best foods I've ever had in my life, period. Like, it literally was just amazing. Like, my taste buds weren't ready. So every time I tell people if they're in Austin, it's worth waiting in that line to get that brisket and get that barbecue.
Risking it for the brisket. All good.
Yes, yes.
Well, then I guess 2 more questions. E-League and all that, you know, you're going to your tournaments. Evo. Are you going to attack that big beast?
I'm definitely going to go to Evo.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely going. I wasn't able to attack this year, but I'm definitely going.
Are you going in a crew, or are you just going to rock up solo?
I think I might go with my girlfriend, and she might bring her friends. I think that's what's going to happen. So I think my friends are going to go there too, and we're probably just going to meet up with them. But I think I'm going to make that drive with my girlfriend. Yeah.
Sweet, dude. Sweet.
Yeah. But I'm excited, man. It's Vegas.
Yeah, oh man, I've heard a lot of the time people in pools. Now, this is something that a lot of people, I don't think, know if you're not in America, is that those who go to Evo, they'll go in the pools, and then some players disappear and don't come back, you know, because it's Sin City. They get lost at the pokies, they're out shopping, they're just enjoying the sights, you know?
There's too much, there's a lot to do, you know? There's a lot to do. It's tough.
Have you ever gotten wild in Las Vegas, man?
I mean, I've had a good time, you know, I you know, did a little bit of gambling. It was fun.
Yeah.
We did pretty well at the blackjack table. When we work as a team, we do pretty well.
Yeah, but never alone. Never alone.
No. You don't want to go. I feel like going to a blackjack table alone, you can get salty. There's no one there to take you away. You're working with strangers. It might not be a good idea. But if you go in as a team and you try to beat the dealer, you can make a run. Yeah.
No, definitely, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one last question for you.
All right.
Commander, who is your fighting game waifu?
Fighting game waifu?
The staple question that we ask.
Oh, damn, dude. Because I started with Chun. Chun was my first.
Well, it could be a Skullgirls character.
And then it's true, but I don't think I get down with Skullgirls like that. Like, I think I like Skullgirls, but I don't think I have a waifu in Skullgirls. But favorite, my waifu, man.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
It's hard, eh? She doesn't have stretchy limbs. She doesn't have a beard.
It's very hard. Very hard. I would say Sakura possibly, just because I rocked with her so heavy in 4, and I play her a bit in 5, and I don't think like Chun-Li is up there too, just because she was the original Bae.
But Sakura is for now the current Bae.
I think it is. I think it is, just because Chun was the one, and was the first. So the first love is very strong. But I think Sakura is definitely, I think is waifu right now. I think, yeah. I would say I would say that, yeah.
Sakura, okay then, sweet.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, sweet. Well, thank you, Jesse, for the time and the information, the interview. Is there any shout-outs or anything you'd like to say before we conclude?
Yeah, I mean, I want to shout out to everyone who's been so supportive of me. The guys over at Body Count Fighting, been there since, the beginning of all the turn of success, and they haven't left my side, and I appreciate all the support that they do for me. I appreciate the support from my mom, obviously, who's just continued to believe in my dream and done everything she can in her power to be there for me. My girlfriend, who's been, you know, my number one fan and believes in me, and you know, she's actually part of the reason why I started traveling. Before I met her, I was just kind of felt like I was comfortable, like playing in SoCal and being a strong player. But she was telling me, like, if you're gonna go for it, you really need to go for it. You know, you need to pursue it and full-hearted, like, put yourself out there, because you never know what's gonna happen. And great things have happened, and I'm gonna continue to do so, and hopefully things will work out. You know, so I'm very thankful for her, and I'm thankful for all my friends who've come over to watch the show with me, and you know, giving me competition, and everybody in SoCal who's been so supportive of me. And thank you for having me on the show and allowing myself to, you know, express my thoughts and feelings about the show and everything else.
No, thank you, Jesse. It's been an honor. It's been a great pleasure listening.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Cheers, man. Well, thank you everyone who's tuned in. Wishing you a good day, good night, whatever time frame you're listening, you know, whenever you're listening. Catch you another time.